All right. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. 8 o'clock game here in the Music City Winter Classic against the Preds 14U and Tri-State Spartans. Preds come in, no wins yet, 1 loss, 1 tie. Tri-State has 2 losses. Preds are third right now in the division. Tri-State is at the bottom of a 4-team division. Waved off icing there. Putty comes up and we are offside. So we race all that I was about to say. Winston takes it back behind the goal line with a head of steam coming up through the neutral zone. He's likely to take it all the way, which he does. He backhands it in coast to coast. Coast to coast. If you give that kid that amount of space. You give that kid that amount of space coast to coast, yeah, he is likely to make you pay. That was from literally coast to coast. In fact, he was behind the goal line, the defensive goal line, when he picked the puck up. So Winston gives the Junior Preds an early lead. Just a couple minutes into this first period. Good back check there by Campbell, and then the feed up to Huddy at the blue line. Couldn't quite keep control of that, but then Winston sends it into the zone. That's Lucas chasing there. Makes the defender change directions. The Spartans come up and dump it in. That's Will now. He's going to get tripped. Yep, that's going to be a call, but delayed call. Still delayed. Oh, yes. So Lucas over to Nick on delayed penalty. That's going to give the Preds a 2-goal lead. So Preds start this one off with an unassisted goal by Winston. He goes forehand, backhand, sneaks it in. Actually, no, he went. Let's see, he's a left-handed shot, so he went up the right side and snuck it in forehand on the backside of the goalie. And then you got a nice cross ice feed from Lucas to Nick for the second one. Which was going to be on a delayed penalty, but that penalty won't happen because Preds scored. Gives them an early 2-0 lead. They've been in this situation before, though, and haven't been able to tack any more on. Let's see if we can today. Got Rulli out there with Jackson and Jonah. Jonah goes behind the net to grab that one. Rulli's trying to get over there. Trips over the defender. Tri-State, and there are the Spartans now coming up through the neutral zone. Rulli gives it off to Tyler. Tyler's just going to chip it up to the neutral zone. That's a really nice play, actually, and that puck stays in the zone as Jackson was following Jonah. But then they give it up there. Shot from the wall there from the Spartans. Brooks sends it up the wall. The Spartans are going to grab that in their defensive zone with Grant providing some pressure. Sully tried to grab that on his way through, but couldn't. And Brooks is going to dump that in. And Brooks goes off a little gingerly. Will comes on to take his spot. So Winston and Will right now, deep here. Sully gave it to Hank coming through the neutral zone, and Hank kind of got held up by his own man, Grant. Sully looking for something to do with it, sends it behind his back, but then it's dumped in. That shot from the far wall. Goalie makes a save. And then that feed from Hank to Talon. Talon missed the net, and Talon sends it back across the crease. Grant couldn't get a stick on it. No icing on this one, so Sully goes back to retrieve, up to Will. Will takes a hit. Spartans come away with it. Teague gloves it. Stops play with about 8:20 to go in the first. That shot from really, I think, outside the blue line. Teague gloves it. Stops play. Yeah. That little soft shot on goal, covered up. That was Huddy's shot on goal. Goalie gave up a rebound, but not to the right place. I mean, not to the right place if you're a Preds fan. Campbell finds that loose puck on his stick, sends it down into the corner for Carson. Carson battling in the corner, trying to find somebody in front, and then Campbell's backhand goes high. Probably a right spot though. Goalie's kind of a small goalie. He was trying to get it up over his head, had some open net there. Now Campbell's going to rip another one just wide. A couple of Spartans run over each other, and that puck just squeaked out of the zone. So Lucas, Luke, and Nick out there right now with Winston and Brooks. Brooks back on the ice after coming off a little gingerly on his last shift. Luke Doble with it behind the net. Tried to find somebody in the center, and that puck squeaks all the way through the slot. That's going to be icing if it gets there, and it is. Offensive zone face-off for the Junior Preds to the left of the Spartans goalie. And this is what this team likes to do. They like to spring this kid right here. He tries to cherry pick up at the top of the zone often. Lucas tried to get that one actually over to Nick, but got caught up in some skates. Or it might have hit the goalie there. That pass from Winston comes out of the zone. And then Brooks reverses up this wall. He's trying to get it back in. And then that one squeaks out. Back to 24, and he will shoot every chance he gets. So this is Ruley, Jonah, and Jackson. Jackson intercepts that pass from the Spartans, gets around a defender, but loses his puck. He was trying to get it back to the defenseman, but it didn't quite get there. Will's playing center field back here, though, to help out. Will sends it back up to Jonah on the wall. Now it comes back to Will, over to Talon. Talon up that wall. All three forwards providing some pressure here. Talon couldn't quite keep that one in the zone. Will chips it back up ice. With Jackson taking the shot, and the goalie corrals it. Stops play with about 4.5 minutes to go in the first. Two early goals from the Preds. Been here before, though. They really need to tack some more on. can't count the number of games this year where they've had the first and the second, and then just go dry after that. See if we can change some habits here, or change some history. Sully's going to chip that one to himself, but Spartans get to it first. Now he's trying to get it deep. That goes back to Griffin. Griffin's shot deflected a couple of times going into the net, or toward on its way in, and then goalie gloves it and stops play. I think that hit off of a couple of skates, maybe a stick and a skate. Sully wins that one back to Griffin. Griffin sends it down deep. Tyler had it on his stick, but whiffed a little bit on the pass. Griffin's going to send that one all the way back around the wall. Hank trying to get it over to Sully. Sully sends it up to Grant. Grant chips it in. Griffin keeps that one in the zone. It's squirted by Grant, though. And now that one. How is that not icing? How do you wave that off? What? That's like one of the most obvious. I don't understand the wave off. There's nobody even close to him. Carson draws a tripping penalty. Nice job there, battling for the puck, and puts the Preds on a power play with just under 3 minutes to go in the first. Power play unit comes on, see if we can add to the lead. Got Lucas, Huddy, Nick, Winston, and Griffin. That one comes back to the point to Griffin, now to Winston. Down to the corner for Lucas. Lucas over to Huddy. Huddy to Nick. Nick back to the point for Griffin. Griffin's going to take the shot. Goalie gives up a rebound. And Lucas puts the rebound in the back of the net. So the goalie has been giving up a lot of rebounds, so I'm hoping the boys are noticing that. If they're down there with traffic in front, they're going to get second or third chance opportunities. So that extends the lead 3-0 for the Preds. So that was Griffin's shot from the point on the power play. Lucas got the rebound opportunity. And he gets on the scoreboard today. Well, that's a dangerous pass from Will back to Talon. Because Lurking was number 24 for the Spartans. Nick's going to get called for a trip there. It's kind of a loose stick, and the kids seem to just skate right over it. Good pressure from Ruley there right off the face-off. Oh, really nice job of Jonah there. But he needs to get to the center line to keep that from being icing. If they're a little older, that's fine right there before on the penalty kill, but at this age in the penalty kill, you still need to get to the center line before you dump it to prevent the icing. Hudson ties up really ties up the Spartans player there off the face-off. That shot goes in high. And then good defense there, chips it away. Now they got a 2-on-1, actually shorthanded. Jonah's going to take the shot. That sails high. That shot goes wide. It's on the back of the net. Griffin goes and tries to get it out. And they're going to call too many men on the Preds. So too many men penalty will put Spartans back on the power play. 17 seconds left in the first. And Griffin's going to take it back behind the goal. Tries to get it out of the zone. Grant's there to get it out. And that weak little shot on net. Teague just took a stick and chipped it aside to keep play moving. And that shot at the very end of the period. Teague had to make a pad save there. So at the end of the first, 3-0 Preds. There will be a minute and 15 of power play time for the Spartans when we start the second. So the Spartans win the face-off here to begin the second on the power play. And that play right there is what they want to do. Every time, if they can, they're trying to spring 24. They've done that consistently through some other games in the tournament, and they've done it a few times today as well. Grant gets that one out of the zone, and now Sully's chasing shorthanded. He puts on the brakes. He's going to take the shot. Goalie gloves it. That was a nice shot there from top of the circle as he hit the brakes. Gave himself a shooting lane. Goalie made a nice save. Now we're going to try to kill the rest of this penalty with Nick, Lucas, Winston, and Brooks. Preds are keeping possession here, shorthanded. Nick overskates that just a little bit. Spartans were able to get it out. Lucas is going to reverse it up the wall. Winston then takes it away. He's 1-on-1, actually 2-on-1. He's going to take the shot and hits a post. Winston nearly had his second of the game. So now back to 5-a-side. Penalty has expired. Lucas up to Nick. Nick's going wide. He's got Luke coming down the middle, but Nick lost it off his stick. Luke goes and helps out behind the net. He tries to center it. That kind of got partially blocked. And then that shot, that centering pass from Lucas to Nick. Nick didn't get all of that, so that trickled wide. And a roughing penalty on Nick? I didn't see that one. Must have been down here on the wall. It took my eyes off of it. So we put the Spartans back on the power play early in the second here. A good block from Griffin. Gotta be careful there, though. If that shot's coming in low and straight, it might do the other team a favor by trying to get that skate out there. It could change direction on your goalie. Griffin has it behind the net. He chips it up to the corner. And then that one's chipped out. Nice job of clearing that. That's going to check up. No icing. Rulli providing some pressure, some forecheck pressure. He's making them play catch back and forth. And now gets in on the back check. Nice stick lift there. And Tyler takes the player off the puck, and the Preds are able to clear the zone. Now Jackson chasing the player back in his defensive zone. Really nice pressure, but leaves the puck behind. He captures, gets the puck, tries to get it up to Rulli, but Rulli was going the other direction. Now Rulli's out of gas. He's getting off. Great penalty kill, though. 12 seconds to go on the penalty before they're back to full strength. Spartans are still playing catch here. They're trying to spring this player here, 24. And penalty has expired. Even strength. Whoa. That puck was sitting right in front of Teague for a minute before Will cleared it out. There's going to be no icing on this. Carson goes in hard. And he's going to get a boarding penalty. So that's going to be boarding on Carson. A 2 and 10. Kids at these age have to realize they have to stop when they see the back of when they see the back of the player. It's just killing the momentum of the game, even when you have the lead. This is a good way to let a team like this that you should beat get back in the game. Keep taking all these penalties. We've had 3 boarding penalties, I think, in this tournament, and you just have to let up. You can ride the player into the boards, but you cannot go in hard like that if they've got their back to you. And you can't hit them square. That's the other thing they look for. The refs look for is how vicious it is. So if you accidentally get them from behind, but you're rubbing it kind of off the shoulder, that's a much different check than square from behind. They got to realize the situation. That puck is cleared, but it's going to be icy. Oh, that's a great save by Teague right there on 24, and that's the one they're trying to spring. That's the player they're trying to spring. So, yeah, and that's the play that they're trying to get to him up the wall and let him carry it in. That clearing attempt was all the way down the ice, so that's going to be icy. Teague sprawls out and make a great save there on the back post. Power play is expired. Now Carson will stay in the box for his 10-minute misconduct, but Preds are at even strength here. Winston takes it down below the goal line. He's skating to look for room. His backhander goalie gloves it. Griffin retreating. Tyler trying to chip it up to Sully, and Sully changed direction. That's also boarding. Not as vicious, but that's also boarding. Not quite as vicious. No call on that one. Grant with a nice touch pass to Sully. Sully can't get around the defender, but Grant's there to pick up the loose puck. That shot deflected in front. And Griffin uses the boards there to spring. Well, now Grant's got it. And Grant couldn't get inside the defender. Preds catching the Spartans on a change here if they can get going quick. But they couldn't, and they're offside. That's Nick giving chase there. And then Nick's really nice touch pass to Luke Doble. Luke Doble gets a goal. Nice play there. Lucas sent it over to Nick behind the net. Luke Doble was sitting right in the low slot, ready for the pass. Nick found him. Gets a goal. So 4-0 Preds. Just under 8 minutes to go in the second. Another loose puck in front. Will sends that down deep. Now Winston comes on. To take Will's place, and he was the one that got it around the wall there. Now the Spartans are going to dump it deep. Brooks is going to take it around the back of the net and gets it to Jackson. Jackson looking for a pass. He hands it off to Nick. Nick coming down this near side. Crosses over in front of the goalie. Takes a shot. Goalie makes a save. Rebound from Ruley. Or Ruley was there trying to make a rebound. Good back check there by Ruley up to Jackson. And Jonah anticipated that one a little too quick. Offside. Brooks over to Winston. Winston up to Jonah. Jonah got pressured a little quick there and couldn't get the pass. Couldn't get the pass off. Now Spartans come into the zone. Shot from 24 just rings high off the post. Spartans grab a loose puck, and that one now the shot's going to be deflected up and out of play. 5 minutes to go in the second. 4-0 Preds. Junior Preds, I should say. That's going to be offside on Spartans. Griffin collects this puck behind on the wall, goes behind the net, gets it all the way up to Huddy. And Huddy has Nick coming. I think he was trying to. I think Griffin was trying to get it to Nick, and then Huddy was in the middle of the two, and probably just not enough communication there from players to let that one go. I think Nick was in a good shooting position if Huddy lets that one go. Now you got Sully, Hank, and Grant. Along with Talon and Will. Will pinches in, sends it toward the low slot, goes all the way through. Talon keeps it in the zone momentarily. Sully collects that when Talon, as he retreated when Talon pinched up. Spartans get control of it momentarily. Now Will has it in the neutral zone. He gives it to Grant, and Grant sends it in the zone. Hank with good chase there, but it comes out here to the near wall. Hank comes to the middle, loses it off his stick. Still has it though. Sends it back to Talon. Talon's now going to take the shot. Grant looking for a tip. Goalie covers up. Just under 3 minutes to go in the period. Brooks retreating. He's getting pressured. Nice job of splitting the Spartans right there. Nice pass there to Nick in the low slot. And then Lucas to Doble. Doble's shot goes just high. Good communication there from Griffin. Griffin was telling Winston, you can hear her down on the ice to go change. Oh, that shot. Nick just lost that off his stick. I'm sure he wishes he had that back. Teague makes that save, can catch the Spartans on a change. They did. Long pass up to Lucas. Lucas' shot, goalie makes Pat save. Preds clear, but not quite far enough for a hole change. Now they might. Nope. Nick got off. Now they're just going to ice it and get the rest of that line changed. Hey, Mark, I didn't even check the chat. I see you're on. Good morning. Talon keeps that in at the blue line, sends it over into space. Ruli's there to put it back to the point, and that was blocked going in, but Ruli gets the deflection. Now he goes behind the net to create some space. He's cycling. He's going to send it back deep. Now Jonah has it behind the net. Now Will has it. That shot from Jackson goes in. I think it was Jackson's goal. Maybe it was Ruli's goal. It was Ruli's goal. Yay! Ruli gets one on the season. I guess it was the rebound. I thought it went in on its own, but Ruli gets a rebound. Five 0 Junior Preds. Time winding down in the second. And that's going to be it for the second. So Carson's back in play. After serving his 10, I believe. I can get the lines back regular. 5-0 Junior Preds going into the third. Carson takes the face-off down the wall. Centering pass wasn't handled. Couldn't get possession of it, really. And then Winston sends it back up ice. Now Campbell brings it in. Tough angle shot. Campbell gets on the board. Whoa. Whoa, that was a tough angle. There was nobody with him. He decides to do it himself. And whoa, that's a nice shot. Goalie was hugging this near post and left the far corner open. I think that's where it went. I think he went far corner, not near corner. That goalie was taking away the near corner. But nice shot nonetheless from a tough angle. Makes it 6-0 Junior Preds early in the third. So they get rewarded by staying out there a little longer. And now Campbell has it again, coming up the same spot. Defense is covering it a little better this time, though. He stops behind the net. Nice job there to try to get the centering pass to Huddy. He does. And I think it hit the defender in the butt. The defender had lost his stick and had his backside to Huddy, and it might have hit him in the butt. Otherwise, that puck might go in, too, because that was the side of the net that was open right there. That shot from the Spartans goes wide. Had some open net over there, but the shot goes wide. Some laundry on the ice. Somebody lost a glove. Refs are telling them to move the puck. They can't really move the puck when there are that many people on the ice. Now Hank over to Grant. Grant tried to tap that one in. It looked like it just kind of skidded right off his stick. Spartans clear the zone. Talon back to retrieve it. And he's going to go cross ice up here to Grant. He had Hank streaking down the middle, but couldn't quite get it to him. That's actually a nice job by Hank right there. As he was going off on a change, he just chips it into the zone and made sure that it wasn't icing. He was on this side of the goal line. And Grant had a wraparound chance right there. Looked like it might have bounced off the post. Goalie left a little bit of room there. And then Lucas tried to find Grant again. Grant's just getting abused here in the center of the ice. Now he's going to go off on a change. Lucas takes a shot, and Lucas gets another one. Pattern looks like it's been go high on this goalie, a little bit of a smaller stature goalie. Preds are wearing out the top half of the net. So Lucas gets his second of the game. Makes the score 7-0 with the clock running now in the third. As the lead is greater than 6, I think, is when the clock runs. Or maybe it's greater than 7 or greater, so it might have just started running consistently here in the third until it gets back down below 7-goal differential between the two teams. When they started this game, and from seeing this other team play a couple of times, or at least one time, I've seen this other team play one time this tournament, I thought when they started with a 2-goal lead early that it should be about a 7 or an 8-goal game in favor of the Preds, of course, Junior Preds. And that might end up being roughly the differential. pass from Griffin up to Jonah. Jonah comes in, tough angle shot, sends it over the net. I think again trying to hit the top corner. That one you might just want to keep low though and see if you can get a rebound. Now Tyler keeps that one in at the point. Shot on the goalie, he covers up. So this is again a 13-year-old team for the Spartans. What's interesting is they're a AAA organization. I think that's all they have is AAA. So this is their tier 1, essentially, of their 13-year-olds. But definitely some size difference here between our 14s and their 13s. Griffin collects that behind the net. He's coming up through the neutral zone. He'll take it until he gets pressured. He's not pressured. Takes the shot. Got deflected, or maybe it went wide. Couldn't quite tell there. Jonah had that one, and then Hudson cleans up a rebound. So Jonah had it slip off his stick, but Jonah had a slip off his stick, but the momentum was still going. The momentum of the puck was still going toward the goalie, so the goalie didn't quite cover it. Hudson was there on the doorstep to jam it home. So Hudson has 2 for the game. Lucas has 2 for the game. I think it's 8-0 now. They're just not registering it on the board after 7-goal differential. Nice pass from Huddy to Carson. Carson goes wide. He's taken down. Campbell's shot. Goalie stops. So Rulli has 2. Lucas has 2. Doble with 1. Campbell with 1. Who else has the goals? Nick with 1. Winston with 1. How did I forget Winston's? Winston's was a beauty at the beginning. That's going to be a penalty on both teams for roughing. That might be what you just call keeping the game in order so it doesn't get out of hand with such a lopsided game. Grant chips it in. Sully's got Hank over here that lost control of it. Hank puts it down in the corner for Sully. Sully sends it back. We'll try to send it back down deep. Didn't get there. Now Grant's got it in front. Backhander on goal. Goalie makes a save. Just under 3 minutes to go in the game. Junior Preds just haven't let the Spartans get any momentum in this game. Really nice job defensively. They've had a couple of opportunities, but for the most part, not a ton of high danger chances. The Spartan team has lost to the other two teams in the bracket already. Lost to the Junior Preds 13-year-old team 4-3, and lost to the St. Louis Eagles team that we tied 6-3. So here's their most dangerous player here. Grant with some good pressure at the top of the point. Finally gets it clear. Now Griffin's going to send it in deep. It's Griffin and Will with Lucas, Luke, and Nick. Nick's shot goes wide. And Talon tried to get it up to Luke Doble, but that one squirts back into the Spartans' offensive zone, but offside. And that'll do it. Preds come away with, I think, an 8-0 win. That gets them on the board in the win column. The round robin essentially will end with them 1-1-1. And so what it means for the next game later today is, I believe it'll be that they will probably end up being the second or the third seed in the bracket. I still don't know whether that's going to be a 4 o'clock Central Time game or a 2 o'clock Central Time game. Let's see if I can figure that out really quick. Let's see. Yeah, not sure. They'll either play at 2 or 4 Eastern or Central. Sorry, later today. Check with your family and friends for the time as the other games finish up today. Thanks for watching. See you later.